Have you ever been in the back of a line truck? Have you ever sent messages by the sun? Have you ever spoken in code? In the Vintage Signals team, you can do this and have the joy of sharing these experiences with school children, in museums, across Canada and also overseas. We tell the story of Canada's signallers. My name is Ken Lloyd. I'm a member of the Vintage Signals team, a retired signaller, a veteran and the Honorary Lieutenant Colonel of 32 Signal Regiment. The Vintage Signals team is the outreach program of the Hamilton Signals Association and is supported by 32 Signal Regiment. A signaller passes messages and the messages have to be kept safe and secure. This has never changed, and whether we use the technology of today or we use technology of 2,700 years ago, the job is the same. In the Vintage Signals team, we share this history and we share the stories and encourage you to try our equipment and enjoy our past. The story of signals began a long time ago. Whether it was now with cipher or whether it is 2,700 years ago, signalling is still the same. This is Kotly, and it was used by the Spartans in 400 BC. The Spartan kings and the generals each carried one of these sticks, and they used them like a private key that we use today in cipher. Each of them had this private key. The diameter of the stick was always the same for the generals and the kings. To send a message, you wrap a leather band around it or a piece of belt and you write your message across the stick. When you unwind the leather belt or the message, it comes out as a set of jumbled letters. These days we call this a transposition code. With a transposition code, the person who picks up the belt by mistake or from the body of a messenger, it is just a jumble. But the moment it goes to a stick, which is the private key, and wrapped around the stick, the message becomes visible. King Lysander of Sparta was worried about the Persians and when were they going to attack Greece. 5 messengers were sent. 1 got through and died at the feet of the king. His belt was taken, wrapped around the stick, and the message was read, and it was reminding him the Spartans beware because the Persians were coming. The Vintage Signals team researches this type of technology and this type of equipment. By researching that, we then divide it up into special projects, and you can be part of these special projects. We have Project 1, which is World War I, the Secret Signals War. We're learning from the Battle of the Somme. We're learning about the World War I U-boat war and how the air war was won through good communication. Project 2, World War II, Deceptive D-Day. The story of signals, deception and spying. How it worked and how that part of the war was won. Project 3, are you a code breaker? Can you read cipher? Can you use an Alberti wheel, a Bellini wheel? Can you do the indecipherable code? These are the things that we do with signals, but our new project is the most exciting of all. And this is World War II signals and the battle at the Atlantic. Our team of Wrens and the Enigma, and how an Enigma works, and how that changed the path of the war, and how important it was. For those who enjoy radios, we have the Vintage Signals team who use World War II radios and Cold War radios. And in this section, we are thrilled to have your enthusiasm join us. For those who love trucks, we have Signals trucks. Our favorite is the Line Layer, a memorial line truck that carries the name of signallers from the past. And it also allows you yourself to lay line. And this line can be then demonstrated to schools and museums. If you enjoy building trucks, we have a Capt, and we are rebuilding that at the moment so we can do cipher. We also are rebuilding a radio truck for everyone who wants to be in the back of a truck enjoying radio. Do you like travelling? We go all across Canada with our displays. We'll be at the Canadian National Exhibition. We've been there for 4 years consistently. We also go to national historic sites, museums, schools, remembrance events. We are there. We also go overseas. We were in Flanders. We visited the battlefields. We were at Vimy. We were in Arras with 9,000 school children. We were in Berlin with 6,000 school children. And this year we're going to Davos in Switzerland. If you enjoy history, if you love signalling, or you just want to get into encoding, then come and join the Vintage Signals team. We can be contacted at the Vintage Signals team at gmail.com, on Facebook or on Twitter. The Vintage Signals team is the outreach program of the Hamilton Signals Association and is supported by 32 Signals Regiment. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Hello, I'm Daniel Rodrique, and I'm a documentary producer that specializes in Canada's military history. Myself, having 12 years of service in Canada's military, can identify with the passion of those like Colonel Lloyd who want to keep the history of our military alive by passing on the knowledge of that heritage. The Vintage Signals team is an incredible group that demonstrates that heritage using original equipment while dressed in period uniform to better give the audience a realistic feel for the work the signalers did going back to the First World War. If you are interested in not only learning more about that heritage, but physically experiencing it, then I encourage you to consider joining this team of signals experts. Not only will you learn more about our military legacy, but you'll be able to live it. It's part of our heritage, and it's up to us to share it.